Well, here's a video I never expected I'd be making. I've been asked to fix a bass microphone. Unfortunately, it's an echo microphone. I'd like to get a diamond drill and cut the chip in half, which does the echo. However, let's see if we can fix it for them. I can understand bass mics from a not talking with a fist mic and having a locking button. So how do I know what it's wired for? You know, here's the first problem. How many radios do I have to get off the shelf to see what it works with? I actually own a bass mic. I've got a... Oh dear, what is it? I used it once and Mr. Chippie says, stop using that, it's awful. Turner Expander 500. And I think I've wired it for Wagner base station. Or Grandstand base station. Or Atron base station, same chassis. Well, one way of doing this is to see whether it's wired, for a start, Cybernet, or whether it's wired Uniden. So if it's wired Cybernet, then those two should now be, which they are, and that and that should be transmit. No. Am I not in? Or is it that one? Yeah, it's wired Cybernet. Well, that's one good thing, isn't it? So I want a Cybernet radio that's got public address. We used to have one of those mic testers that one of the wholesalers, Palmer, did. Yeah, don't ask me where it is. We don't fix mics. But we keep doing, don't we? There's a beat up Midland here. Oh, it's not got a power connector. I'll just go and find a radio. I've dug out a radio we recapped as a demonstration. May as well use this. I would have been better off using one with public address, but there you go. I didn't. We'll run it on low power, listen on the walkie-talkie. And it's a Rotel 220. And of course it's disconnected from power because I don't want to take a power lead out of stock. You know what happens if you take a power lead out of stock and then somebody buys that power lead, they will complain and say it's been used. In reality, of course, it's been tested. So let's put our walkie-talkie on. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Yeah, silly as you think. So there's a nasty hum. So just to prove there's a nasty hum, I need to get our standard mic. don't think this is a standard one, it's Jason. Testing 1 2, it is. So testing 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2. That is a standard mic. So this is generating a nasty hum. So plug it back in, key up. It just makes you wonder whether somebody's wired this without the earth connected. Is that possible? I mean, how can it generate a hum? I also know this is going to take longer than servicing a CB radio. Magic, it's the same fee, so there we go. So I think we'll start by opening up the mic plug. What I'm thinking here is, if, and we've seen this before, instead of somebody connecting the shield, the braiding, the outer to earth, they've used the wrong wire. So let's have a look. So we've got we should have the braid to pin 2, which we have. We should have audio to 1. Now the audio wire is going to be the one lapped by the screen, and it does look like it's the white wire, and then we've got brown and green, which must be the right way around. In fact, on this it says Sadelta audio is white, TX is brown, RX is green, and of course common is braid. So that looks wired correctly. I'm not going to put that back together, that would be tempting fate. I love the blue tack bump-ons. Why won't that open up? It's the right screwdriver. That's the wrong screwdriver, but it fits. Disconnect the battery for now. Is that alkaline? It is. And that's not going to generate the hum. So we'd expect these 4 screws in the corner to be the ones that hold it together. Well, in that case, there's either an earth off inside or there's duff capacitors. Good, that's that bit done. So I've never been inside one of these. So you have to take the knobs off. What's the meter for? Oh, right. So when we look inside, that capacitor is blown up. Has this got external power possibility? What if some Wally's connected it to more volts than it should? I'm not sure what the switch does. Let's put the battery back to it. I don't know. Right, we need to take this board out. Disconnect the battery again. I think we take, yeah, the pillars are screwed in the other way on, so we actually take the board out by unscrewing it from the chassis. It says Sadelta on the bottom. I'm always kind of impressed when things that have the make on them also have the make on the board, and it's not just a badged up something. So that capacitor looks like it's the two wires there. I'm doing this Sunday because I want to do an actual CB set tomorrow. We'll have Mr. Chippie and he'll be able to on the air test. I also want to do a field test on that Intech, is it 520 hand portable, and I want to look at the power output on rechargeable batteries, on throwaway batteries, and off the power adapter, because I think it's going to differ. Well, it was about 3.2 watts on the power adapter. That was my finger I just unsoldered. So it's negative to the top. There's no markings on the board, so we've got to be absolutely sharp on that. Negative to the top. There may also be, you've got a ground plane, and so it clearly is negative to the top. Just to clear a bit more of that solder away. At least they were using real solder back then, not like current products with the lead-free solder that looks like it's dry joint when it's new. So what's the capacitor? 470 microfarads at 10 volts. So you see, how can that be popped? But it is. I I'll go and put it on the ESR meter and tell you what the outcome is. It's probably open circuit for it to hum like that. If that's a 9-volt battery, how can that be over the top when it's... See where I'm correct? I think somebody's put 12 volts up this. Somebody too tight to buy batteries. Right, I'll go and look for a capacitor. Hopefully we've got something that fits, which is really high quality. Right, so I've put the plug back together because it is working now. Look at that. Testing 1, 2. No hum. Right, put it back together. That switch is a stupid Roger bleep. Just listen to this. How awful is that? Right, I'll switch the radio off. We'll disconnect the battery. And put this thing back together. I did test that capacitor. The ESR meter said kind of working. Didn't say short or open. But this is observation, experience and observation. I know that that capacitor is starting to become domed on the top. We'll compare it with the one I've just put in, which is a Nikon, and is actually, I think it's 50 volt, 35 volt rated. I think someone's put 12 volts across the battery terminal, and I think therefore that 12 volts probably means 13.8 volts. So I think that's what's happened. Someone who can't be bothered to buy a PP3 battery. But you are going to introduce problems running these, trying to run these off the mains, and that one of those things is going to be hum. I'm not talking about the hum because of a fault, which we've just had, but you're going to get mains hum. So the batteries last ages anyway. And you didn't say I could put it back together. I bet someone got the blue smoke out of this and then put it on eBay. So we are, I mean, the nice quality components, those polyester capacitors, they are polyester layer by the looks of it. There's a relay in there, it's a Philips 411 logic gate in there. LM324 is a quad op amp, isn't it? MN3008, don't know, and something 3101. Are they the Bucket Brigade delay lines? Who knows? Who's bothered? Anyway, I'm glad it's got a switch for a stupid Roger bleep. What was his call sign? G3 somebody other. He wrote a couple of articles, good projects in Radio and Electronics Constructor about 1970. G3 WYV. Did a hi-fi amplifier project. He did a reverberation project, and he said he'd experimented with using reverberation on amateur radio, and he was visited by the GPO, as it was then, like next day. I built one of those reverberation units using a delay line, and it worked fine. Oh no, I didn't, did I? No, I built the Fred Jubb one out of Practical Wireless. Still got it in a 19-inch case. I got an electronic keyboard at the time, and just for like, there are just times when I've got to go and do things on electronic keyboards at pubs and things, and it sounded so awful without any reverberation. That's why I built it. Wouldn't you expect there'd be some kind of carrier in that? Or is it supposed to be? Oh, there is. It's in the lid, isn't it? The clip's in the lid. Except the clip's lost its strength. So I think we'll just close that up a little bit. At least it's welded. There we go. Now the clip clips. Except I'm trying to put it in the wrong way around. Now I want this so that the terminals are going that way, because you've got a printed circuit board there, and you've got the possibility of this bit being metal and shorting something out. There is just that possibility. So the sensible way around is to put it in like that. So the plastic thing is clips there. Those clips are readily available. I hate to see it when they've been chopped off in walkie-talkies, and you know, they can be had for 20 pence. Did we say this screwdriver fitted? No, we didn't. So as compensation for me doing this, the next video I put up will be an organ repair video, which none of you will be interested in, which I've already published on my other channel where we fix pipe organs. Brilliant. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Trouble is, of course, with getting feedback. 1 2 1 2 1 2. I wonder if have we just got an extension speaker socket? Might help a little bit. Yeah, it has. Let's plug the extension speaker in there, and then it's on the wall. That's better. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2 3. 1 2 1 2. Turn the volume down a little bit. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. And then you've got this silly echo, 1 2 1 1. Yeah, we'll have that turned up. Right, that's working. Good. Well done. Well done, Mr. Tango. So there we have it, a repaired thing, and that is a bulging capacitor, and I just spotted that because it was obvious to me in this kind of job. So let's look at that. See, we've replaced this out of something, and that's not bulging, and that one is. And you can put them aside. The bulge is so tiny that I just know from experience that that's bulging, and it could be bulging at the bottom as well. So I just know it's been overvolted. It's 10 volt rated. We've put 35 volts in. That's not to encourage people to power it up off a lorry battery, because it'll kill other things, but it's one thing which, I mean, these are what? These are probably 40 years old as well. But there you are, it's done. So, thanks for watching something we definitely don't fix, a Sadelta bass mic.